The Great Gatsby. Chapter 1. Original Abridged Adaptation. When I was young, my father gave me advice that stayed with me for the rest of my life. Before you judge someone, he said, remember that not everyone has had the same chances you've had. Because of that, I learned to listen more than I spoke. People often trusted me with their secrets, even when I never asked to hear them. I discovered that every person carries hidden hopes and disappointments. Still, there came a point when I grew tired of watching people waste their lives. Yet one man was different. His name was J. Gatsby. There was something extraordinary about him, an almost impossible belief that tomorrow could always be brighter than today. It was a gift I have never seen in anyone else. In the spring of 1922, after serving in the Great War, I left the familiar fields and quiet towns of the American Midwest to learn the bond business in New York. Instead of renting a room in the city, I found a small weathered bungalow in a place called West Egg on Long Island. It was modest, squeezed between grand estates that belonged to people whose fortunes seemed endless. My little house cost $80 a month. Next door stood an enormous mansion with marble terraces, sweeping lawns, and a tower inspired by old French chateaux. I did not yet know its owner, only that a mysterious man named Gatsby lived there. Across the bay glittered East Egg. The two places looked almost identical from the water, like twin eggs resting upon the sea, yet they could not have been more different. East Egg belonged to families whose wealth stretched back for generations. West Egg was filled with those who had earned their fortunes more recently, people with money, but not always with acceptance. One warm evening, I drove across the bay to dine with my cousin Daisy Buchanan and her husband Tom. Tom had once been one of the greatest American football players of his generation. Even years later, he carried himself like a man accustomed to winning every contest. He was broad-shouldered, immensely strong, and confident to the point of arrogance. Wealth surrounded him so completely that it seemed as natural to him as breathing. Their Georgian mansion overlooked the water with rolling lawns, formal gardens, and elegant white columns glowing in the evening light. Inside, great French windows stood open to the summer breeze. White curtains billowed like sails, lifting and falling with the wind. The room seemed to float. On a long sofa reclined two women dressed in white. One was Daisy, the other was Jordan Baker. Daisy rose to greet me with her familiar warmth. She possessed a rare kind of beauty, not simply in her face, but in her voice. It seemed to sing even during ordinary conversation, drawing people closer as though every sentence carried the promise of something wonderful just beyond reach. Jordan Baker, by contrast, watched everything with cool detachment. She was elegant, athletic, and quietly amused by the world around her. As we talked, Daisy mentioned her little daughter. She smiled, yet there was sadness beneath it, like sunlight shining through thin cloud. Dinner was served on the terrace overlooking the bay. Tom soon dominated the conversation. He spoke with certainty about books, race, and society, repeating fashionable theories that revealed more about his own prejudice than about the world itself. Daisy answered him lightly, teasing his seriousness with playful wit, though beneath her laughter something uneasy remained. Then the telephone rang. Tom excused himself. No one explained why. Jordan leaned towards me. "Everyone knows," she whispered. "Tom has another woman in New York." The words settled over the evening like a sudden shadow. When Tom returned, Daisy smiled as though nothing had happened. The conversation continued, but the room no longer felt quite so bright. Later, away from the others, Daisy confessed that life had disappointed her. She told me about the day her daughter was born. "I hoped she'd be a beautiful little fool," she said quietly. "That's the best thing a girl can be in this world." She laughed after saying it, but it sounded like laughter hiding sorrow. For a moment, I sensed that behind the glittering wealth, beautiful clothes and effortless charm, stood a woman trapped inside a life she could neither escape nor fully accept. As the evening ended, I drove home beneath a warm summer sky. The wind had fallen still, the trees whispered softly, frogs called across the dark gardens, and moonlight silvered the lawns beside the Sound. Then I noticed a solitary figure standing at the edge of the great mansion next door. It was Gatsby. It was Gatsby. He stood perfectly still with his hands in his pockets, gazing across the water toward East Egg. Slowly, almost reverently, he stretched out his arms. I followed his gaze. Far away, across the black water, burned a single green light at the end of a dock. It was tiny, distant. Yet Gatsby reached toward it, as though it contained every hope he had ever dared to dream. When I looked again, he had disappeared into the darkness. Only the green light remained, shining across the quiet bay. Our journey through the Great Gatsby continues tomorrow. Join me for the next chapter as Gatsby's remarkable story unfolds, revealing more of the dreams, secrets, and heartbreak that lie ahead. Subscribe so you don't miss the next installment. Until then, thank you for listening, and good night.